Who'd have thought that a pixelated indie RPG would develop such an imposing, lasting presence? Undertale puts you into the shoes of a child exploring the underground, solving puzzles and potentially making friends along the way as you decide exactly what to do with all those monsters you're facing. With a branching story path and multiple endings to experience, your decisions in the underground really do matter. The game quickly earned a following on release and sealed its place on the top PC games lists forever. Would you kindly give this iconic horror FPS the respect it's more than earned? Heavy on the Ayn Rand references, BioShock launched in 2007 as a smash success that launched a long-running and much-adored series. In the first of 3 BioShock games, you'll make your way through Rapture, a once idyllic underwater metropolis. By the time you find it, though, it's overrun with genetic mutants, oddly creepy little girls running around, and their enormous protectors known as Big Daddies. Between eerie visuals, a tenseness in the air that carries throughout, and a well-executed plot twist, this game definitely deserves the praise it's gotten. Set in the same in-game sci-fi universe as the Titanfall series and featuring several characters from it, you take control over legend characters as you break into teams to compete in battle royale deathmatches while playing as your favorite legends. Despite the game releasing as a surprise to fans who thought a direct Titanfall sequel was in the works, Apex Legends still remains one of the most played games of all time, with 25 million people jumping aboard in the first week and reaching its 100 million player mark in April 2021. Just don't mind the Battle Pass issues it has sometimes. This staple PC game might not have been the first in the Civilization series, but it is the title that first gave the Civilization games their legacy after honing the greatness of the debut title. Your goal in them is simple: oversee your empire through time as you compete with other civilizations to complete your victory conditions. Scout the map, raise an army, settle a capital city, and race to be the first to win by getting to space, defeating everyone else, or surviving until the year 2020, which probably sounded like it was going to be a way cooler year in the mid-90s than it ended up being in real life. BioWare makes our list once again with this huge RPG sequel, and for good reason. Not only is Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Am great, but it's jam-packed with 200 to 300 hours of content. As if you aren't getting enough of that from 2023's Baldur's Gate 3, right? That was unheard of when the prequel game was first released in 2000, but between the main story and all its dozens of side quests, fans more than got their money's worth with this game. Even 2 decades ago, the series had a passionate fan base, but if you're looking for a little more of the same Baldur's Gate flavor, no harm doubling back to the second game. While the original Persona 5 launched in 2016 exclusively for PlayStation and was a contender for several Game of the Year awards, narrowly losing to Breath of the Wild that year, Persona 5 Royal, the enhanced release with additional content, came out in 2020 and took the fandom by storm. Becoming Metacritic's top game for the year, P5R was the first Persona game to port the series to consoles other than Sony's. In it, you follow Joker, a wrongfully convicted teenager serving his sentence in Tokyo, which is a detailed overworld map modeled after the real-life metropolis, as he and his ragtag group of friends navigate the metaverse to change the hearts of the entire country of Japan for real. The vice script the virtual block-building sandbox Minecraft had on the online gaming world when it first launched can't ever truly be forgotten if you were there for it. The game was released in beta back in 2009, and it received a steady stream of developer updates until Mojang released the final version in late 2011. The game sold over 1 million copies in its first month alone, a number that's only grown as the years progress and consistent updates keep it feeling fresh even more than a decade on. It was one of the earliest games to develop a large Let's Play following on YouTube, helping massively to popularize a genre of content that remains immensely beloved today. Almost 2 decades on from release, World of Warcraft is still going strong with just shy of 10 million people still playing at the time of writing. Events of the game follow what occurred in 2003's Warcraft II, The Frozen Throne, bringing players back into Azeroth once again and encouraging teamwork to bring down the monsters of the world, or even the other players. The game is easily one of the biggest and longest-lasting MMORPG titles, still boasting an impressive and loyal fanbase even almost 2 decades on as one of the long-standing best PC games of all time, and it's still receiving updates and new content. Fans don't stay playing the same game that long, unless you're doing something right. When you blend absurdly wacky protagonists, fast luxury cars, expensive bank heists, and the ability to totally troll people online, it's no wonder at all that Grand Theft Auto V remains the most enduring title in this long-running series, remaining one of the best PC games of all time even this long after its launch. In this installment, you follow 3 protagonists: retired and presumed dead thief Michael, street gangster Franklin, An all-around maniac, Trevor, through a completely open world that's both beautiful and studded with dozens of activities to do as you wreak all kinds of havoc on the LA-inspired city of Los Santos. Long home to one of the most active modding communities online, Skyrim, as it's most often shortened to, has spent over a decade now as one of the most prominent PC games for some. Despite how many platforms the game has come out on becoming a meme by now, the game has more than made a name for itself in its genre. Lauded with praise for its versatile, engaging and well-rounded approach to a classic genre, Skyrim remains one of the most beloved RPGs even today. Fans are still finding new ways to enjoy the game. In Mass Effect 2, you continue on with Commander Shepard's mission from the first game to save the human race after you watch him die in the first 10 minutes of the game. That is. The sequel to BioWare's also impressive and much beloved 2007 release, Mass Effect 2 vastly improved on the series' combat system and added complex and well-written characters to the series that would quickly become fan favorites. It's impossible not to get invested in the characters and their stories as you play through the game. Sure, the cake may or may not have been a lie, but Portal taking such a high spot on our list definitely isn't. Guiding voice and classic video game antagonist GLaDOS returns once again, and she's a little pissed you killed her in the prequel. This 2011 follow-up to the smash hit original Portal game followed the puzzle platformer format, but added new elements including tractor beams, light bridges, and lasers. Just try not to get the ending credits song, still alive, stuck in your mind like we do anytime we play the games. Released in 2004 to continue the success of its predecessor, Half-Life 2 puts fans back into the mind of Gordon Freeman once again. You're joined by Alex Vance as you fight through the campaign to help the Combine for the sake of freeing the human race. The game's reception has remained positive throughout the years, earning a total of 39 Game of the Year awards, with additional nominations for things like stellar voice acting and sound effects. Still no Half-Life 3 confirmation, at least officially that is, but we remain hopeful. Will Wright had a hit with SimCity in the late 1990s, so he took a magnifying glass to his PC game and let you play a sort of digital dollhouse with the citizens too. Throughout the years since its release, The Sims has taken on a life of its own, long since eclipsing SimCity and going on to spawn several sequels, spin-offs, and offs and add-ons. The game is fun and easy enough to bring casual gamers in, promising fantastical ideas like friendships, romances, careers, and home ownership. It was even inducted into the Video Game Hall of Fame in Rochester, New York in 2016, cementing its legacy as one of the best PC games of all time. You go through most of Disco Elysium as a cop with amnesia, trying to solve a murder case through dialogue with citizens of a city destroyed by war. Though the game was already great on its initial 2019 release, it was enhanced significantly and re-released with a free update in 2020-21. Written and designed by Estonian novelist Robert Kurvits, the independent developer Zaam didn't know what a hit he had until the Game of the Year awards began to pour in, and an Amazon television series adaptation was announced for the game as well.